Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Well, we have been tracking this bitter cold weather for several days now. When it's finally here, it is dangerously cold. These temperatures have the potential as well to burst the pipes in your home. Firefighters say the frigid weather caused a broken water main here on South Yale Road. That entire road will certainly be a sheet of ice. Let's kick things off with meteorologist Michelle Bostown. Michelle, anything that's frozen, it's not going to melt at least anytime soon.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait until probably next week before we can hope for temperatures finally making it above freezing. But until then, yeah, we are in the deep freeze. We are looking at a couple of rounds of snow to add to the fun here. Satellite and radar pictures showing pretty dry air to the northern half of the state. Spokane seeing a little bit of clear skies out there. Definitely bitter cold, but we do expect a weak disturbance to move through that could drop a few light flurries in Spokane and some light amounts of snow down towards the Washington and Idaho Paleuse and across the central panhandle. So those areas shaded in purple, you can see the snow amounts there. Generally light snow, but it could be a little dusting here even in Spokane for tomorrow morning. Of course, bitter cold continues and dangerously cold wind chill. So wind chill advisory reissued now through 12 o'clock noon tomorrow for those areas shaded in light blue, including the Okanagan Valley, Upper Columbia Basin, and the areas just east of Moses Lake. Current temperatures single digits through much of the region. 5 in Spokane. That's 2 degrees colder than it was last hour. 6 in Grand Coulee, 4 in Deer Park, 3 in Sandpoint. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of strong wind here locally, except for Omak. Boy, those they've been dealing with some brutal cold temperatures. Feels like nearly 10 below in Omak, 3 below in Spokane, and 5 below 0 in Coeur d'Alene. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. Again, a few flurries possible overnight here locally. Otherwise, we'll see a little sunshine tomorrow during the day. That will do nothing to warm temperatures up. It's going to be another chilly day with a high only around 12. Snow returns for Thursday. Light amounts expected, a high of 16. And then a sunny but bitter cold day for New Year's Eve, a high of only 11.
Got to be, I guess, hardy to celebrate New Year's Eve outdoors this year. Thank you very much, Michelle. With those freezing temperatures in our area, the snow and ice that built up on the side streets in Spokane won't be going away anytime soon. Right now, the city of Spokane is focusing on keeping arterials, hills, and bridges clear. That means the most dangerous or challenging part of your drive might be in your own neighborhood. The city's snow plan only calls for activating a full city plow of those side streets when it snows 4 inches or more. But with more snow on the way this week, the situation on the side streets could and certainly may get worse. Well, we're not the only ones facing difficulties with winter weather. Over in western Washington now, snow and frigid temperatures forced many COVID-19 testing sites to close and cancel hundreds of appointments today. The Seattle and King County Public Health Department says 9 testing sites were closed just today, and that left several people scrambling to find an open test appointment after the cancellations. This week has certainly been a roller coaster of emotions for Coug fans, with the original opponent of the Sun Bowl pulling out of the game due to COVID-19. Just hours after the team landed in Texas, things were looking as though the Sun Bowl might be canceled until a new team was found as a fill-in. So we are just 3 days away now from the contest, so a bit of a quick turnaround. Speaking of turnarounds, WSU quarterback Jaden Delora actually just joined the team in El Paso after his flight from Hawaii to Seattle was delayed, which caused him not to get to Pullman on time for that chartered flight down to El Paso. He was, though, at practice today for the first time after all that craziness, and head coach Jake Dickert said it was good to have him there because the energy just feels different when he's there. Well, this team will get 3 days to prep for Central Michigan, which is a short amount of time, but Dickert has found a different way to frame it.
When we talked to the guys when we got the game, we say, hey, everybody wants to be a professional. This is like a Sunday to Thursday game, so we had really 3 days to prepare, stay on our rules and principles and just make sure our guys can go around and play fast.
We'll get one last update from WSU practice tomorrow as they will close it to the media on Thursday. We'll hear from Jake Dickert that day, though, at the head coach's press conference. KREM 2 is the place to be for the latest on the Cougs and the Sun Bowl. So join us starting Friday at 8 a.m. for a pregame special leading into CBS Sports coverage of that game at 9 a.m. You can only catch the Cougs in the Sun Bowl right here on KREM 2. Meanwhile, in sporting events that actually happened today, the Gonzaga men were back in action today against North Alabama, and this was the route that you thought it would be as the Bulldogs won 93-63. 5 Zags got into double figures, and Chet Holmgren wasn't far behind, making it 6 as he had 9 points. Julian Strother led all Zags with 15 points, so the scoring was also pretty spread out. Earlier today, San Diego's men's basketball team announced that they're now on a COVID pause, which means the Zags won't play them on Thursday. Generally, the college basketball world has been wrecked due to COVID the past few weeks in terms of cancellations, and head coach Mark Few offered his thoughts on that after the game.
We're doing the best we can, but also using common sense and logic, the whole, being fully vaccinated and all that. I mean, so we're, again, just trying to apply some logic and common sense to this thing too.
Gonzaga's next game is against LMU on Saturday at 4 p.m. Our other big story tonight, new developments in the murder of Jason Fox, a Newport teen found dead last October. 4 men have been in jail awaiting trial for his death, and today one of those men walked free. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk spoke to the victim's dad, who said the suspect is getting off too easy.
Jason's parents have used social media, including TikTok, to share their son's story. They believe the murder was a hate crime. Today, one person believed to have witnessed the killing walked free. We want to warn you, some of the details of this crime are disturbing. 4 men have sat locked up in the Pend Oreille County Jail for the last 14 months, accused of murdering 19-year-old Jason Fox. Today, one of them pled guilty to lesser charges. Kevin Belding is now a free man.
To me, that's obscene. You can eat popcorn and watch a murder and know where a child is buried for 3 weeks. And, and then another 4 weeks almost after that before they were arrested.
Jason's father, Michael Fox, believes Belding is getting off too easy. He pled guilty to lesser charges, including rendering criminal assistance, a felony, and failure to notify the coroner. Belding faced roughly 1 year in prison for those charges, but was released today, getting credit for time served.
People love Jason, and I don't think Kevin Belding's going to have an easy run of it here.
The other 3 men, Riley Hillstead, Matthew Raditz Freeman, and Claude Merritt, remain in jail. Police believe they beat Fox to death, tied his hands, and buried him in a shallow grave. When Jason's body was recovered, Michael says a coroner recommended doing a closed casket funeral.
He told us, "You don't want to see him, Mike. This is the worst I have ever seen. The worst he has ever seen." And that stuck with me.
While police haven't shared a motive for the murder, Jason's parents think it had to do with his sexuality.
I still believe that it most likely, in fact, is primarily or entirely because Jason was gay. I do.
They want the 3 men to be charged with a hate crime and have spread Jason's story on social media, including TikTok. The hashtag Justice for Jason Fox has more than 10 million views.
He was a good kid who was really on the verge of becoming a good man.
The 3 men in jail will have their trials early next year. Reporting in the newsroom, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
The Los Angeles Police Department released body camera footage from a shooting inside a department store last Thursday that killed a teenage girl. The video shows police killing an assault suspect who was seen in surveillance footage attacking a woman. Authorities said a 14-year-old girl named Valentina Peralta was also killed. The LA Times reports it was one of the officer's bullets that had bounced off the ground and went through a wall separating the changing area from where the suspect was. The shooting is the subject of multiple investigations. New tonight, the Grant County Sheriff's Office says its detectives seized more than $2 million worth of drugs at a home not far from a high school in Mattawa, Washington. According to the Sheriff's Office, detectives from Grant County's Interagency Narcotics Enforcement Team served a warrant and during that search seized nearly 32 pounds of methamphetamine, 25,000 fentanyl pills, and $50,000 in cash. Starting in the new year, minimum wage in Washington is increasing. The state's new minimum wage will increase to $14.49 per hour. The increase goes into effect on January 1st. It's an almost $1 increase from the current minimum wage, which is $13.69. The Federal Bureau of Labor and Statistics attributes the increase to more expensive food, housing, and gas.